Hi, greetings to all Whovians. Whovian Queen here. Having a good week so far? Well, look at the 12th Doctor era now continues on with the Christmas special from 2016, The Return of Dr. Mysterio. In New York City on Christmas Eve of 1992, an 8-year-old boy named Grant wakes to find the 12th Doctor dangling outside the window of his family's apartment and helps him come into his bedroom. Taking Grant to the rooftop, the Doctor, who Grant calls Dr. Mysterio, reveals he accidentally set off a trap for a device he was building, and he enlists Grant to help complete it. However, Grant mistakenly swallows the wish-granting gemstone needed for the device, believing it to be medicine for a cold he has, effectively being Grant his wish to be a superhero. Abandoning the device, the Doctor makes Grant promise to not use his new superpowers before he leaves. The Doctor returns to New York in 2016 with Nardole, whom he removed from Hydroflax's body and rebuilt, to investigate Harmony Shoals, a multinational research company. They encounter news reporter Lucy Fletcher, who is conducting a similar investigation. The group discovers that it is being secretly run by a group of living alien brains that transplant themselves into any living creature they need for their plans. They witness the killing of the company's owner, Mr. Brock, for his body. Tracked down by Dr. Sim, an employee the brains already took over, the group is suddenly rescued by a masked superhero named the Ghost, who afterwards transport Lucy close to her home. Returned to her apartment before her, the Ghost transferred back into Grant, who works for Lucy as a nanny. He is shocked to find the Doctor and Nardole waiting for him, having tracked him down via the gemstone fused inside his body. Lucy returns and interrogates the Time Lord by squeezing a stress toy she calls Mr. Huffle. The Doctor reveals to her that alien brains colonized planets by taking control of their prominent leaders, with Earth being their next target. Leaving Lucy to prepare an interview with Grant's alter ego, the Doctor and Nardole track down the alien ship in a low orbit and board it via the TARDIS. There, they discover the ship's reactor is in a critical state and realize from Dr. Sim that he intends to drop it down in New York. Remembering an observation made by Nardole, the Doctor realizes the city would be vaporized except for the Harmony Shoals building. World leaders would take shelter in the company's other buildings within each capital city, believing Earth was under attack, effectively allowing the brains to take them over. After Dr. Sim lets slip the ships to be dropped at a designated time, the Doctor forces its descent ahead of schedule. Ghost and Lucy are captured by the brains during the interview. They ability to transport themselves into Ghost's body. Ghost flees to deprive the brains of their prize, then returns as Grant to protect Lucy. Unable to change the ship's course during its descent, the Doctor sends Grant a message requesting his help. Grant manages to stop the alien ship from crashing into the city, but reveals himself as the Ghost to Lucy in the process. Lucy is won over and Grant takes her in tow as he disposes of the ship. The Doctor leaves the unit, which shuts down Harmony Shoals, unaware the alien brain and Dr. Sim has escaped with one of their soldiers. Back in Lucy's apartment, Grant informs the Doctor he will no longer use his powers and retire his costume identity. As the Time Lord leaves, Lucy asks him why he is sad. The Doctor gives only vague answer before departing. Nardole reveals the Doctor is mourning the loss of River's song, but will ultimately recover. He leaves with the Doctor to assist him further. Aww. So now let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. At the beginning of the episode, the Doctor is constructing a device to reverse the paradoxes created during his previous visit the Angels take Manhattan. The Doctor mentions he usually gets an invasion every Christmas, a reference to the different invasions of Earth taking place during most Doctor Who Christmas specials. The unhooking brain-swapping aliens last appeared in the 2015 Christmas special Husbands of River's Song, where they were servants of King Hydroflax. Their main agent, Scratch, stated that they represented the shoal of the Winter Harmony. The Doctor tells Lucy that he works for Scotland Yard, which she also did in The Woman Who Lived. Previously, the Doctor told the guests at Lady Edison's Manor he was the chief inspector from Scotland Yard in The Unicorn and the Wasp, while the 11th Doctor told President Richard Nixon he was an undercover operative from Scotland Yard, codenamed the Doctor in The Impossible Astronaut. The cinema near Lucy's apartment features a film called The Mind of Evil, the name of a third Doctor serial. Nardole mentions the Doctor cut him out of Hydroflax's body, referring to off-screen events following the Husbands of River's Song, where he was decapitated and had placed inside the artificially intelligent robotic body of King Hydroflax. When the Doctor complains that Grant promised him to never use his powers, Nardole brings the Time Lord policy of never interfering with other people or cultures, first mentioned in the second Doctor serial, The War Games. When clearing out the headquarters of Harmony Shoals, the unit officer prepares to contact Osgood, referring to Petronella Osgood, who previously appeared in Day of the Doctor, Death in Heaven, and Zygon Invasion / the Zygon Inversion. Both the Doctor and Otto refer to the final 24-year night the Doctor spent with River Song and her eventual death in the library. And now let's take a look at some outside references. The character of the Ghost is a pastiche of the comic book hero Superman, with several references to the character being made throughout the special. Superman's creators, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, are referenced by Mr. Brock Direct, when Mr. Brock directs the Gather Reporters to ask further questions of Miss Shuster and Miss Siegel. Grant has roughly the same standard powers as Superman, including flight, super strength, super speed, being bulletproof, and possessing X-ray vision, along with other unconventional powers. He gains his abilities from a stellar-powered object, much as Superman gains his from Earth's yellow sun. The Harmony Shoals building in New York featured in the episode has a large globe atop of it, making it resemble the Daily Planet building, a major setting of Superman's stories. Grant prefers being called mild-mannered, as Superman's alter ego is often characterized. He also follows the same moral code as Superman when operating as the Ghost, and transforms in a similar fashion by tearing his shirt open to reveal his superhero costume underneath. The special features a number of elements that mimic those from Richard Donner's Superman the movie. One scene involves the Ghost voicing his hope that Lucy's close call Harmony Shoals hasn't put off for journalism, paralleling the same scene in which Superman hopes Lois is not put off from flying after he rescues her from falling out of a helicopter. Lucy also conducts a rooftop interview with the Ghost to reminisce of Lois' interview with Superman in the film. Lucy Fletcher is named after Lois Lane's sister, Lucy. Her character is similar to Lois's in that she does not realize that her old high school friend and current nanny is a superhero ghost. The initials LL used by several of the Superman comics. Several characters in Superman comics, including Lois Lane, Lana Lang, Lex Luthor, Linda Lee, Lori Ramirez, Letitia Lerner, Lena Luthor, and Layla Lyril, is used in Lucy's married name, Lucy Lombard. Several characters from Marvel Comics decorate the walls of young Grant's bedroom. The Doctor questions Spider-Man's unusual origin being bitten by a radioactive spider. He opines that radiation poisoning will likely be the result. A Joe's Pizza is shown within the city, which is where Peter Parker worked briefly in the movie Spider-Man 2. The Doctor consoles Grant that with great power comes great responsibility, an adage associated with Spider-Man. Batman is briefly referenced after the Ghost drops Lucy off in her apartment building. When the baby monitor he is carrying goes off, Lucy mistakes it for a signal device and asks if the bat signal is now an app. The Doctor uses the augmented reality game app Pokemon Go to create distraction at Harmony Shoals' Tokyo headquarters. Nice. So overall, I think this episode is kind of interesting, and I don't think it's necessarily a Christmas special. It's more of kind of an homage to superhero stories and whatnot, so yeah. But it's still a good episode nonetheless, so yeah. So overall, I give The Return of Dr. Mysterio 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. And when you tune in next week as we take the next episode, The Pilot. Well, hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified about when I upload videos. And if I help support the channel further, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in the description below. Anyway, until next time, this is Hooving Queen saying, "Oh my giddy aunt! When I say run, run!" I'm Mr. Player, the neutron flow. Would you like it, Jelly Baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo! Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.